All right, on to our top 5 receivers. Starting off at number 5, got Jamar Chase. And having him at number 5, honestly, especially for an LSU boy like myself, feels a little wrong. So obviously from the rookie year, took a little step back last year. But it's not just because, Jamar decided to take a step back or got worse. Just some games missed, injury stuff. We'll bounce back from that. But when you basically do take 400 yards off your receiving total from the previous season, which was a legendary, awesome rookie year for him, I got to move you down a little bit. 1,046 receiving yards last year, along with 9 receiving touchdowns. Granted, only playing in the 12 games compared to the 17. We know Jamar. Great hands, great route runner, smart. Keep that Joey B connection going strong. Jamar Chase could easily finish ahead of where he is right now by the end of the season. Now you just got to stay healthy to do it. Number 4, we got Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs is just a model of consistency. Last 3 years, 1,535 yards, 1,225 yards, 1,429 yards. We know how much he cares about winning. Actually, also had the most touchdowns of his career last year with 11. Stephon Diggs is just the alpha over there in Buffalo. Things really do revolve around him. If Stephon Diggs has a rough day, honestly, usually the offense has a rough day. In my opinion, what Buffalo really needs to do to help out Stephon is to have another guy step up, as I've talked about before, so that all the attention is not on him. You free up Stephon even more, and his ceiling just goes up even more. Number 3, we got Davante Adams. Davante Adams, future Hall of Fame type talent. Just an amazing receiver that you want youngins to model their game after. Just Davante Adams does so many things well, so many things at a high level, high character guy. And we talk about model of consistency like Stephon. Last 3 years, 1,374 receiving yards, 1,553 receiving yards, 1,516 receiving yards. But obviously, last year's, in my opinion, was the most impressive, because you go from having the first ballot Hall of Fame guy, Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest of all time, throwing to you. Is it him? Was it you? Was it really both you guys that have a good connection? Well, we obviously see that's the case. With Derek Carr throwing him the ball last year, having one of the worst years of his career, if not the worst, and then having Jarrett Stidham and whoever else step in, throwing him the ball, still getting production out of him. Davante Adams is him. And he still led the league in touchdowns last year with 14. Short field, middle field, deep field, red zone, doesn't matter. Davante Adams is a threat. And I do believe he's the oldest receiver I have on this list. So, we got to give him a round of applause for that. But seriously though, Davante Adams is just an animal. All right, at number 2, we got Tyreek Hill. Delegating between number 2 and number 1, definitely the hardest decision I've had to make on any of these position groups. And now that I've said who number 2 is, I do have an idea that you have an idea who number 1 is going to be. But we're not talking about that right now. Look, Tyreek Hill, just unbelievable. So twitchy, so fast, so unguardable. Such an anomaly of a human being. Tyreek Hill's just a mystery, but an absolutely unguardable one at that. We already knew in Kansas City, but at least what I didn't know was that he was an all-out alpha, can go for 100, 150 plus any day he wants type of guy. I'm sure some Chiefs fans had that idea. I thought he was going to come to the Dolphins and probably produce around similar to what he did when he was in Kansas City. He came and produced for a lot more. 1,710 receiving yards last year, along with 7 touchdowns. Nothing crazy, but a lot of double teams going on there in the red zone. And you know how much his skill set truly just cannot be replicated. And then at number 1, we got Justin Jefferson, Jay Jettas. Consistent improvement every year, unreal talent, and he's just clearly one of those guys where he's just ahead of his peers. The way he can contort his body and still bring his hands around the ball, bring it in, it's just truly unbelievable. And we know there's no one else that does it as well and as consistent as him. Just an absolute world beater of a route runner. His strides are amazing, perfect size for a receiver. Jay Jettas really went from being a prospect I really liked, especially, went to LSU, my guy, just into an all-world player. Truly, I'll tell you, I never at the LSU days had pictured him turning into just an amazing and productive, I'm struggling to think of the adjectives. Justin Jefferson has blown away my expectations. And again, he was amazing for us back at LSU. Justin Jefferson is incredible. He is the best receiver in the league. And if you don't think so, you're in that hater territory. Rookie year, came in, went for 1,400 yards, then 1,616 yards the year after. And then last year, pushing it to 1,809 yards. Again, similar to Tyreek, touchdown numbers are nothing crazy, but that's what happens when you're double teamed constantly in the red zone. Jay Jettas is number 1, and there is no doubt about it.